Joining me this week is an author, a nationally syndicated radio host, a columnist, and the creator of Prager University right here on the YouTube. Dennis Prager, welcome to the Rubin Report.
Dave, great to be with you.
All right, let's hear what these guys have to say.
I knew I was not on the left when during the Vietnam War, which I was in college, and I knew communism was evil, and my life is devoted to fighting evil. That's what I care about more than anything. I hate people who hurt people deliberately. I hate them. I want them destroyed. I want evil destroyed.
Is murder wrong? You may think so, but how do you know? Is it against commies? It's all right then.
Well, all right, so you want evolution? Fine. Yeah. Two quick things on that.
Sure.
One is, of course, it just needs to be stated that evolution has zero explanation. I mean zero, none, for the creation of life.
Abiogenesis is the study of how life might have started on Earth. Evolution does not address that.
There was no evolutionary jump between inorganic and organic. And they acknowledge that. They just say one day they'll find one.
Who says that? There are plenty of religious people in a field of evolutionary biology that are able to keep their faith while keeping up with modern science.
But there isn't one. So the evolutionist has nothing to say about the origin of life.
Because evolution is not about the origin of life. That would be abiogenesis.
They have something to say about the origin of species.
Okay.
Once life begins. Mm-hmm. But that's a big difference.
Gee, Dennis, thanks for stating the obvious distinction that everybody in evolution knows. So that was point number one. What's point number two?
Mm-hmm. The second part is they don't have a lot to say even on the origin of species.
Obviously, this guy hasn't done any sort of research whatsoever.
When you look at, there was this thing called the Cambrian...
We don't do an IFB
The Cambrian
here, so there's nothing I can do.
Explosion, that's it.
Yeah.
This was when vast numbers of species arose, but much too quickly for evolution to have accounted for.
No, that's not what it means at all. The period of time known as the Cambrian explosion is a period of time between 10 and 30 million years. This is not overnight. This is not the following month. This is 10 to 30 million years. And what it taught us is that evolution, the pace in which evolution progresses from basic to advanced, is not steady throughout history. There were times where the progression was slower and times where the progression was much faster. During what's known as the Cambrian explosion, there was a very fast progression of evolution, which means the conditions were right for this rapid evolution. Some have thought, well, this was because of a lot of warming around the globe, or changes in the atmosphere, change in the content of oxygen. So there's something that happened that allowed this quicker pace of evolution for these new species. But once again, we're talking about a period of 10 to 30 million years, and anybody who says this disproves evolution is talking out of their ass. That is a completely ignorant statement to make, and anybody just doing a YouTube search, doing a Google search, or read a book will be able to see that that is an ignorant comment to make. And if you love science, you do not spread ignorance. If you love science, you spread knowledge.
Okay, so I'm glad you're making that distinction, because neither one of us are evolutionary biologists. So,
you know, a lot of these evolutionary biologists do write these things called books, and then you read them, and then you understand.
Yes.
We can say as much as we know on that. By the way, just for the record, just today I had an interview with Jerry Coyne, who's a world-renowned evolutionary biologist.
Right.
Yes, and Jerry's written books, and so what you do is you read them.
Here, it is possible to be a professor of medicine and believe God created the world in 6 days.
Yes, people can be off the rails crazy when it comes to their religious beliefs, but be completely sane, rational, reliable, and other aspects of their life. It is an amazing thing. It's absolutely true.
And here is a theory. So here's my theory. The human being clearly needs to believe some non-rational things. I believe that is part of what the human mind must have.
Say what?
So the religious person, the healthy, and I'm talking about healthy religious and healthy non-religious,
Yeah.
apples and apples. The healthy religious person confines his non-rational thought to religiosity. The secular person, when they have the non-rational, they're much scarier.
Okay, wait a minute. First you said religious and non-religious, and now you're saying religious and secular. You know secular doesn't mean non-religious, right?
Because that is not about splitting of seas or Jesus walking on water. It's about real life. The amount of the non-rational that is believed on the left.
Okay, so first it's religious, non-religious, and then it's religious, secular, and now it's religious, left. So non-religious, secular, left. Secular has nothing to do with if somebody's religious or not believing in God. Why don't you just say atheist doesn't mean you're on the left. Now, you can definitely argue, and I think the statistics would show that more atheists, more non-believers are on the left than the right, but there are definitely atheists on the right, and there's atheists in the middle. They are not owned by either side. They take things issue by issue. So it seems like Dennis Prager is trying to alienate a group of people, trying to basically group all these people as this one thing, when these are labels that are completely different. Non-believers, secular, left, those are completely different. You don't have one group of people that's all three of those things. Now, why is he doing this? Maybe this interview's gotten kind of long and he's lost his concentration and now he's just babbling nonsense. I'm not sure what's going on here.
So, I welcome secularism in Iran, and I fear secularism in America.
Right.
Secularism means separation of church and state. It means no religious test for taking office. It means what we have in this country, the Establishment Clause. Congress shall make no law establishing a religion, which is why the United States is known as a secular country. And you have individual rights and liberties, everyone equal under the law, because you have civil law higher than religious law. This is the opposite of what Iran has. Iran is a theocracy where Islamist clerics dictate law and dictate Sharia law. They consider their religious law above civil law, religious law above individual rights and liberties. That's why women are forced to cover their hair. And if they don't cover their hair, they can be arrested because it's against the law. And in this country, freedom of expression is completely stepped on. These people are oppressed by these uptight, joyless Islamist priests that seek out any joy, any freedom of expression, and try to crush it. In the United States, we have freedom of expression. And that same First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom to practice religion the way we want. For example, let's say in a public school you have a Jewish student. The government shouldn't be forcing the way that people practice their faith. So in a public school, the government should be forcing a Jewish student to recite a Christian prayer, for example. That should be separate. People are free to worship the way they want. Freedom of expression. Blasphemy in a secular society is not a crime. You can criticize your religion because your individual rights and liberties under civil law is higher than religious law. Your freedom of speech is higher than religious law. Doesn't matter if people get offended, you have freedom of speech because individual rights and liberties, freedoms are more important. So when he says I wish secularism would come to Iran. Absolutely. When he says, I fear secularism here, what is he saying? Is he saying that he wants a theocracy? Is he saying he wants to enforce his interpretation of the Bible on everybody else? Is he saying we have too much freedom of expression? What exactly is he arguing? Is he arguing that that Jewish kid going to public school should be forced to recite a Christian prayer? Is this what he's saying? I don't think he knows what he's saying. I don't think he's really thought this through.
There's something really there. Between those two things, we probably have the right society, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, kiss his ass some more, Dave.
We were born out of Christianity, America.
We were born out of philosophy. Dave seriously needs to get some more books.
They don't stop yearning for religious certitude. So what they end up with is secular religious certitudes.
Secular religious certitude. Okay, Dennis, stop. Stop. Understand what secularism means. Read a book.
And then it's a little easier to sway them in the secular arena.
Well, there you go. Stupidity is contagious. Now Dave's got stupid.
Secularism makes no moral demands on you, tells you there is no God who judges you. So it's awesome. You feel great about yourself by taking the right position on any left-wing issue. I love blacks, I love gays, I love Muslims, I love whoever the victim of the month is, and I'm a wonderful human being. My daughter is a great girl. Really? Does she cheat on tests? I don't know, but she does, in fact. She does 10K run for breast cancer. That doesn't make your daughter a good girl. That's a very sweet thing that she does. But you are judged by your character.
Right.
And there's no more character emphasis.
Well, it's obvious that Dennis Prager is not an honest person. He has this game. You probably caught it, the rhythm. He did the same thing at the end of this particular video, trying to make these associations. Secular, atheism, leftist, communist, Nazi, trying to just group all these things together so people are thinking of these other horrible things, completely trying to alienate and attack the word secular, which once again has nothing to do with somebody's religious or atheist. The greatest speech ever made on the separation of church and state wasn't made by an atheist. It was made by John F. Kennedy, a Catholic, and he made it in response to being attacked for being a Catholic, people saying, oh, if a Catholic becomes president, our country is going to be run by the Pope. So it's so dishonest. If he wants to attack atheists, fine. Don't believe in God. That's atheist. Say atheist. But he's using secular. So what's his game? Why is he attacking secularism? Once again, what's his motive? Is he trying to establish a theocracy? I mean, my gosh, he's a Jew. Why would he want this country to be a Christian theocracy? He is being incredibly dishonest to the point where it's disgusting. Dave is just in love with him during this whole interview, just with a smile on his face like a little puppy dog licking his hand, doesn't catch on to any of the dishonesty and the nonsense that's going on. It's quite unbelievable that he's just so daft and clueless to the dishonesty and this con job that's going on. Just completely clueless, doesn't challenge anything, doesn't even realize it's going on. Oh yeah, secularism, atheism, leftists, communism, Nazis, yeah, that's all the same thing. Unbelievable. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Got to expose these con men as much as possible. We got to call them out, call out the lies. So we'll keep doing that, and until next time.
Cisco, do we have to leave all our good friends now?
Only until next time, Pancho. Adios, amigos.